Now I'm recording.
We are recording.
We are all recording, and guys, I may be coming into possession of something very soon that I know is going to make at least two of you jealous. I may be getting
At least two of us.
I'm also. It may,
Good to see your
the
counting
listeners-
skills are up to scratch.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you might also be jealous of yourself.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Well, no, because I may have it. I may be getting some $1 coins that are Bluey special editions.
Oh, how are you getting those?
They're, you know how the Royal Australian Mint will do like special coins every year? Well, this one they're doing Bluey coins, and they had a ballot to go in to see. You got to buy them.
Oh, okay.
And I went to the ballot, and I think I won.
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
So I'm getting a pack of three $1 Bluey coins
For $60.
for $60. Do you know how much they're going for on eBay at the moment?
$3.
$450.
Wow. For a single $1 coin of legal
No, it's for the
tender.
pack of three. The single
so
ones are
what
going
do
for
you
about
want for 'em?
160. I don't
What do you
want
want for them?
anything. I don't know what to do with them. That's the problem.
Did you get a pack of three? Because I know what you should do with them.
What should I do?
Well, you should give one each to your closest friends.
And their children.
But the whole thing about that is that devalues it because then I've got to open the packet and take it out of the commemorative packaging. So I'm confused.
Send me all three then, I guess.
Okay.
Look, if it's anything like... I mean, I looked into this and it seemed like the ballot was closed by the time I caught wind of it. This is reminding me of that Hammer Barn experience.
Ah,
where
yes.
The gnomes were sold out in a matter of minutes on the first
Yes.
day. And then were $1,000 each on eBay.
I despise these people who go out and buy it just to on-sell it.
Oh, I thought you meant gnomes. I was going to say, Jesus, Luke.
No, but like, why do it just to on-sell it? You're just doing it to make money. It's not...
Yeah.
That's all it is.
capitalism.
That's why most people do most things, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Why do I go to work?
Yeah, but I find that
Despise
different.
people like me.
You're not going to work to take it from someone else and charge more for it or that type of thing. It's that scalping
Sure.
and ticket scalping and...
But that's why we're not particularly well off, I think. It's because we don't approach finance like that.
I do often think I'd probably be wealthier if I was a prick.
I think you do need to be a prick to become wealthy, unfortunately.
I
You
could
need
have
to
done
be
better in the
prick to
film
become
industry had
successful
I been more
anyway.
of a prick. Yeah.
But no, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I probably will break them up and give one each to you guys and then one to
Are they
my
different
sister-in-law.
coins or are they just
They're
the
different.
same
So there's
coin?
like one's Bluey, one's the dad, one's the grandmother. I forget what...
There's one that's the whole
Name them.
family. There's one that's just Bluey.
Okay.
The grandmother? I
I
doubt it's the
don't
grandmother.
know. I don't know
Name
Bluey. But I don't know if I actually did win it or not. This is the problem. Because I entered
If you
the
had
draw.
won it, they probably would tell you. So
I was
you
gonna say,
opened this by
how
saying
do
you
you
thought
not
you
know?
had won. But what you mean is you actually went through with entering the ballot.
No, I've gone further this time. So I entered the ballot, and there was you could get. They've got like you can buy the pack of three, or you can buy them each individually. I entered to all four, and I got emails saying for the individual coins. I got a separate email for each saying I wasn't successful. And I didn't get anything for the 3-pack, but they took the money out.
Oh.
So
that sounds like success.
yeah, but I'm
okay.
not sure. So tune in next
Or-
week and we'll find out.
You get nothing and they get your money.
And they took
Yeah.
money from you.
Yes,
Which
yes.
is the very prick-like attitude that's
Yes.
making them rich and us poor.
yes. Well,
Yes,
I think
as we've discussed.
they're selling $1 coins, like
So,
three $1
I'll-
coins
I'll-
for $60.
I'm just going to frame this in a way that I think this actually is. This buying a dollar coin for $60, even if you plan to sell it on for $600. I mean, you've essentially bought an NFT, right? It's just an NFT you can hold in your hand, but it's the same concept.
It's an FT because you could also spend it.
It's
as
a fungible
legal
token.
currency, I suppose.
Fucking
Well,
fun.
no, I think it is actually different because there's actually a thing
Yeah, it's a literal token.
Yeah, as opposed to the web address that you got with an NFT.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're a limited run, right? So it's not like they're going to be flooding these in.
No.
If you didn't get one, you don't have one. These are not going into
circulation. These are just special. If you buy them now, you're lucky. If you don't, you don't.
So I like Bluey. We're a Bluey household, so I'm excited that you've got this anyway. But what I'm most excited about is that you'll have a coin with His Majesty King Charles III on the back. Because I've not actually seen one of those
Bluey.
yet.
No, I think they'll probably start. They'll start rolling out soonish, I think. But yeah, I know the Bluey one. It's definitely got the king.
They're already out there. I just haven't seen any. Yeah, they did one particular coin
holding
first,
off because they were like, hasn't he got cancer? Let's just wait and see.
Could this also be the fact that you don't use cash?
Oh yeah, that's 100% what it is. Can't remember the last time.
Are they reprinting? They're going to reprint the notes, the coins, everything, right? Because the Queen.
Well, they won't reprint, but they'll just like. I mean, you could get coins with the young Queen on them for quite some time.
And they start circling. They'll go, we're going to circle some stuff out, circle some stuff in.
And at a certain point, they'll just say, whenever this era gets back to the bank, we claim it back.
Yeah.
Right. They just stop putting it in ATMs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they did with paper money.
I remember when they did away with the 1 and 2 cent coins and they just said, no, not legal tender anymore.
Yeah.
Did we used to have $1 and $2 notes, or were we always coins?
I've got a $1 note somewhere in this house.
$1 and $2. Oh no, not a $2 note. Just $1 note, and there was no $2, right?
I don't know.
And then they swapped the coin $1 note for a $1 coin, and then a few years later they were like, "Fuck it, here's a $2 as well."
Yeah,
I was so excited.
Yeah, no, I remember the $2 coin
out.
coming out because it's little. And I was
it's tiny, weird. And it doesn't. It makes a clank sound when you knock them together, not a tinkling sound like when you swish other coins together.
Yeah, no, I've got a $1 note somewhere. I used to collect banknotes for some reason for a very brief period as a kid.
It's called saving money.
Yeah, well, it was money from other countries though.
The problem is that a lot of times, like. You'll do that, and the money that because when you do this, I've had people like, I'll swap your note, like because that's the way you sort of do it, and they'll swap your note, and that money is worthless.
Money,
and they'll go, and you give me that $50 note, but no, this $50 note's worth money, whereas you just gave
50
me
for 50. Here's 50 yen. Yeah. I told you to know about my friend who was coming back from America, and on the day they were going to fly back, they went to this little convenience store because they saw a sign that said money changer, and they're like, oh, let's just change all our American money back to Australian. So they went in there and they gave him like, $200, whatever, and the guy was handing them back 200 Australian dollars, and they were like, no, we're converting this. He's like, yeah, 200. It was just, guy was confused why they were, and they were like, would that work in the other direction as well? He's like, of course, like, you fucking idiots. So they were like, so they went to an ATM, just withdrew every dollar they had in cash, and then went back and swapped it all for American dollars, dollar for dollar.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Just because some idiot
that
at
guy
the
got
7-Eleven didn't understand
it. Yeah. You bankrupted us.
And that's why there's no 7-Elevens anymore.
Look, I'm going to say we probably picked the worst day to record.
Why?
We should have been recording tomorrow because there's going to be lots of news I want to talk about in about 10 hours' time.
What's happening tonight?
Well, there's news now about
I know,
games.
but the Xbox showcase, that's the one I'm really excited for.
Tonight?
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about 2:30 our time.
We've got a lot of other stuff this week too, so we could just, save that for next week.
Yes. But I like this. It's still so E3 went away, and the reason why E3 went away is because everyone was doing their own showcases. Well, everyone's still doing their own showcases, so we still get the same information we would have gotten anyway, which is great.
Yeah, E3 was kind of done. But
so has anyone seen anything interesting yet? Because I'm waiting up for the Xbox One. I've noticed some news rumors for that I'm looking forward to.
Civ 7 announced. They teased it was going to be announced. It actually was announced. There's a trailer, but the trailer doesn't show the game. It just shows things from history. Yeah. And then it says, remember Civilization? There's a new one.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to change. Because I do like the way
everything, hopefully, because 5 was excellent and 6 was garbage. So
now there'll be octagonal grid pieces.
Yeah.
Because don't they have the plan, like when they release this, they will like keep 30% the same, 30% will be adjustments, and 30% is like, here's a new feature to try and not be like a Madden game where it's just the same game, new skin. It's actually, we're giving you new stuff to do. So,
well, they kind of made it more casual for Civ 6, I guess.
It was more cartoony, was yeah.
It was very more broad than the previous ones had been, less strategy.
So,
which is why
so
I
let's
could just
see what
get
this
into
one's like.
Yeah, it didn't have that, like other ones have, just one more turn that would keep you playing in one game for 8 hours. It just didn't have that pull. Remember one time I played it, I actually won the game. It went like, do you want to continue? And I went, yes. And I just continued playing, even though I'd won.
Yeah, you can get a victory and then just continue playing if you just want to kill people.
Yeah.
You just want to keep going.
You liked that, did you?
That's what I did I played it, I think it was Civ 5. I played it
30
once
years.
for like 12 hours. Never played it again, but just that one game just kept me up all night.
I'll say this, Civ 5, the original release version, I think was better than when they upgraded it to the Brave New World version and gave it a whole lot of new features. I think some of the gameplay suffered a little bit with all the different victories that you could get. Just made it a little bit, I don't know, just seemed to spread it out a bit. And maybe you just had to focus on one thing too much, which I didn't like compared to how it was in the past.
What we need to do, this is a game we could actually play together, and we should do
I've
it.
never played Civ with anyone else.
Because it will turn into because you can do the whole thing of like, you have a turn and then your turn's done, then you're waiting for someone else to have a turn. So it wouldn't be like a game.
We did that with a ridiculous third-party service at one point, if you recall. But
I think we tried, but
we always forgot, and then somebody would just forget, and then the whole game would just stall.
But I'm hoping now that they've maybe fixed that it's not that third party. Hopefully we can.
No, I think you can do it in game now.
Yeah, so I think we tried again.
5 we did that with.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it again.
Did we?
It's on
I think we tried, and then someone just kept forgetting it was their turn.
Not anyone in particular. It was just always whoever's turn it was just
because
like
the start
forgot
of
about it or whatever.
Yeah.
I think in the long term, once you sort of get the game started and when it's your turn, you're making a lot of stuff. That's where it'll become good. At the start of the game, where you can do one thing.
Yeah, and then it's like whatever.
I think you got to get through
2
that.
days.
Yeah, you got to get through that sort of that grindy
thing.
part at the very start while you're setting yourself up, and then it'll be fun.
It's my favorite bit, though. That's my favorite
grinding
bit,
on
is when
stuff.
You've got nothing. Which is why I actually like Age of Empires possibly a little bit more than Civ. Because when you've got nothing, you've really got nothing. Like, you have to cut down a fucking tree to get some wood, Like, in Civ, it's just like, okay, you've got resources, use them.
I need to play them, because if they have re-released them, the new version, I haven't sat down and played them yet. I should do it. They're all on X Game Pass for PC.
Oh.
I believe.
The other thing that got announced was the Alan Wake 2 DLC has been announced. So.
I started playing it this morning.
How is it?
Very good. Very good. Do you want me to tell you what it is, or I can hold off if any information is a spoiler for someone who's only just started playing?
I know that you play as characters from other games. I know that in it, apparently.
Well, so apparently the premise is, because and this is in the first game too, when you walk past a TV, there's a TV show called Night Springs, which is a parody of the Twilight Zone. So this is episodes of that show that you play.
Yeah, right.
And I believe there's 3 in this DLC,
yes,
and I believe you're a different character, a different story in each, and they're so unique, they don't factor. I mean, it feels and looks like Alan Wake 2, but they're separate to the story because they're fiction even within the world.
Yeah.
And so the one I started playing this morning, you play as the waitress at the coffee shop that Alan goes to in the first game and in the second game.
Excellent. I will.
You're her, but with the shotgun going around shooting. It's fabulous. It's really tongue in cheek. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not something you could play it without playing the game. It's not a.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do this first, I suppose you could, but it's got nothing to do with the main game. But you wouldn't, because the game's so good, just play the fucking game.
Which someone has started playing that.
Yeah,
well,
what's your thoughts, Matt?
Last week, had I finished? I finished all the Alan Wake DLC. I don't know if I had done that when we talked last week.
How was the
I have
second
done that
one?
now. I finished all of it.
Was it
The second
just
one I
same
enjoyed
like
a
the
lot
first?
more.
Okay.
It is still, I think, more difficult than the main game, but I enjoyed the second one more. It was more story stuff. There's a lot of Thomas Zane floating around talking to you, and a more fun puzzly stuff. Yeah, it was good.
That sounds good. Yeah, I'm gonna play him. I'll play him, but I'll just do these DLC first.
Yeah. So I finished that, and then I did. Well, we could talk about. I did dive into a couple of other things for a bit to palate cleanse, as Luke put it, in between. But I did eventually think, oh, fuck it, and I started playing Alan Wake 2 just yesterday, I think, or maybe the day before. I'm not very far. I've literally only done the very first bit. And even though I know you guys, I'm sure you told me this, and this is in the back of my mind, but I was still like, oh, fuck, it's Sam Lake. Like, I know you told. Yeah. I'm positive that you said, he's one of the FBI
but I think
agents.
you're unprepared to just how strongly featured he is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a full-on character this time. He's right there in your face.
I swear you guys said it, but it's just when I saw him, I went, oh, fuck, it's Sam Lake. So far it's great. It's really interesting. I've only been the FBI agent. I know you do play as Alan at some point, but it's interesting that way that plays out. And I mean, it's not a spoiler to talk about the thing that happens at the opening of the fucking game, right?
No.
Yeah. So Nightingale, body investigation, cool stuff.
Yeah. I like the investigation stuff. I like the
big soft body that you have to control through the woods for a bit.
Yes.
I was like, what a bold opening for a game. Is just I'm this fat naked guy just walking around. I'm like, and I have no context for any of this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was Nightingale until they told me again later, and I was like, oh, that's who that is.
Yeah.
I know who that is. I just didn't know that's who I was playing as.
But you get more and more information. It keeps getting better and better. And the good thing is with this game, there are still points where you can go, okay, I'm going to stop playing now. Like there is
yeah.
And I think it's a little. There are a few more of them than in Alan Wake. Alan Wake was quite long, and then here's a chapter. I think here there are some smaller ones in there as well.
Okay.
So there can be a stop. You get to one name, you go, I'm going to have a break now, and I'll come back to it. And then when you get to the swapping, when you choose the characters, that's also a good way for you to go, if I need a break or I want to try something else.
I'll say this, like I said, I've not done any action stuff yet. I'm literally just the FBI agent walking around. But, yes. But I do, if I would just do what they say, I'm leaving a lot of paths unwalked. And I'm not sure at this point, like,
you can come back.
You can't come back.
Okay, because part of me is like, well, I'm missing out on stuff. I like to explore the games, but what happens as soon as I wander off, she goes, oh, I'm off to look at something, and then
by a third of the way through the game, you've unlocked the entire map.
Yeah,
and so you
just go look at
you
stuff.
Essentially can go wherever you want at any time. So
okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, you could go back to the forest where you. Well,
it just seemed like I'm ignoring a lot of stuff, and because when you get back into Bright Falls, I was like, oh wow, it's like the same.
Yeah,
like it's exactly the same.
But
like
you see, if you do,
in a way, it makes me glad that I just played the first one because I can see like this is literally the fucking same. Across from the diner is that. Place on the water that you go behind at one point, and it's just like, it's the same.
You'll find also later, like if you do some exploring, there'll be some stuff that you can't get to until you get further in the game and unlock sort of stuff and things like that.
Yeah,
like it does reward you.
Cutters, so you have to make mental note. I have to come back here with the bolt cutters.
Yeah, and it does reward you for
I've already
exploring
seen stuff like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, cool.
But don't worry.
Anyway, it seems good.
I think there is sort of like an end point that'll come warning. Hey, if you want to do more exploring, go before you
do it now.
Do this.
But that's at the very end.
So don't be worried. Explore, have fun, and the exploring gets easier once you get.
But also, in terms of being able to stop and start, like in the original Alan Wake, any stage that you were on was basically wall-to-wall combat until you got to a cutscene.
Where the fun
you just walk from A to B and have people attack you all along the way. This is not like that. This is more like an open world game. It's not, but it feels more like that. there'll be pockets where you'll get attacked in certain areas, but mostly, I mean, you could just pause it and walk away and come back and just start walking away again.
At the very end of the game, because I knew where people would come out, you could actually I'm just going to run past you. I know where I'm going, and you can just... It's not like the first one where it's, no, you have to kill everyone before we let you continue. There's still parts of that in the game, where it's the story, but...
One thing, though, I was playing, because I've been playing I'm still playing Fallout New Vegas, so I'm up to the part now where I've been to Vegas and I've talked to Mr. House, and he wants me to basically choose who is allowed to live in terms of all the factions. So I'm going and visiting all the factions now before I come back and ultimately destroy whoever I want.
So you're going with Mr. House as your storyline then?
No, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to probably use the chip to... I'm playing as a real kind of goody two-shoes in this playthrough. So I'm going to favor the NCR, and I'm going to murder all of the kind of warlord factions, and probably I'm going to probably try to take over myself, make myself king. So we'll see what happens.
I need to go back. Wishidae's probably still standing there waiting for me to return.
No, start again. Don't play an old return. But the thing was, when I started playing, because I've been playing that all week, and then today I started playing the Alan Wake 2 DLC, but I kept hitting the top bumper to go into VATS whenever I was entered combat, which is
not going to
obviously
help
nothing.
you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had some control issues. So so I finished the DLC for the first game, and then I did jump into. I had mentioned last week I felt like playing Ghost Recon Wildlands. I did play that just for a little bit and enjoyed it.
Yep.
But then I went and saw a movie, which reminded me that there was another game that I was like, oh fuck, maybe I'll have a look at that. So I was playing the Mad Max game.
I love that game.
It's a great game.
It's very good, but the controls are fucking weird. And it took me a little while I had to go into the menu and go, what are the controls in this? They're just so different. They're completely different to any other game, where it's like, so
give us a sequel to that, or make us another Mad Max. Like there's...
Well,
it's a red carpet. Yeah, go on.
So I saw Furiosa, which is the reason that I had Mad Max on the brain. And I saw in an interview, I'll talk about Furiosa in a minute, but in an interview I saw someone ask George Miller, doing press for Furiosa, because Furiosa has got stuff from the game in it. Because apparently what happened is they made Fury Road, and he had already written the plot of Furiosa as kind of world building for Fury Road, and he wanted to make them both. But he couldn't get the money or whatever, and so they focused on Fury Road, making a small story kind of thing. I guess it's kind of like what George Lucas did with Star Wars. Yeah, pick a smaller chunk and focus on that or whatever. But anyway, so he had all this backstory about Gastown and the Bullet Farm and things they mention in Fury Road, but you go, oh yeah, whatever. You don't know what that looks like or about any of the other people there, and
you should accept
Immortan
it as
Joe
a
has
thing
another son called Scrotus, who is in the game. And the reason for all that is, and Dementus, who Chris Hemsworth plays in Furiosa, is also mentioned in the game because they gave Avalanche all the backstory notes. And they went, okay, great. And they made a game with it. But then apparently George Miller was like, yeah, no, that's not what I had in mind. Yeah, and he doesn't like it because because they were saying, "Oh, what did you think of the game?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, we wasn't really very happy with it or whatever." And I was like, "But it must be tough to like have this kind of brainchild story, and then you give it to someone else, and they make this thing, and you go, that's not really what I meant." Like,
but unless he came on board as an executive producer and called the shots and was the story.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how involved it is, but also I don't know how much he when he made Fury Road, he was 70, and now he's almost 80. Like, how much fucking input could he have on a video game? Like, no offense to him, he makes. Like, clearly, like, Furiosa is evidence that he's still able to fucking shit all over a bunch of other modern, bunch of youngsters.
Even if he wasn't like notes, maybe if he like write the game, like write more, not just here are some notes.
Well, I think he wrote the backstory, but then it's like, yeah.
But
anyway, also, so there's a lot of characters like Scrotus from I don't know, it's a fucking funny name. Immortan Joe's kids, Rictus and Scrotus. And Rictus is in Fury Road. And Scrotus is in Furiosa. I don't know why he's not in Fury Road, but anyway, whatever. But anyway, Furiosa is fucking sick. Go see it. It's really good. It's different.
Okay.
It's a different kind of movie. It's more like the Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, I guess, in that it's not. Fury Road is literally like a very short story about.
Yeah.
Basically, it's people either love it or you hate it. It's a big it's one action scene that goes for 2 hours. Basically, it's a big car chase. This follows Furiosa from her childhood up to Fury Road. Like it literally leads into Fury Road, like literally into the movie.
Yeah.
So you can really
she's driving in a car, and the GPS says turn right onto Fury Road.
Exactly right. Yeah. So, it's fucking sick. The only thing I would say about I don't want to spoil anything. It's great. It's not even spoilery though. It's a very simple story. It's just fucking revenge story. It's like it's nice in that it is simple. Fucking good action. My only complaint is that I was like, why is the CGI so noticeable in this? It wasn't the trailer too, right? We talked about this before. I'm watching it. I'm going. I know they filmed this practically.
It was just trailer footage was unfinished, but you're saying that's not the case.
No. This and I was like, why is this? Because I know they filmed it. I know people who fucking worked on it. I know they filmed this stuff. Like, why does it look like this? And then I read an article this week that I've put in here. I think I put it in here about how apparently they've convinced George Miller now you can use CGI just to like tweak it. And so what he's done for this one is they did film all this stuff, but then he was watching it and he'd go, why don't we move that there, move these, get this guy a little bit closer. So and we film elements and add them in here and then.
Oh, it's George Lucas. The guys.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, that's what it is. And it's just a shame because, I mean, whatever makes him happy, I guess.
But you've got to film these
it's a shame because
practical effects.
Something about it, like my brain's just allergic to that stuff. Like I'm watching, like the fucking war rigs going down the road and the guys are jumping on stuff like that, and then just something about it. If I pick up on the fact that something's not quite right, my brain just goes, "This is not real."
And I want to know when that happened too, because when I watch 80s movies, which have arguably far worse special effects than today's movies,
the whole Mad Max movies.
But it works for them.
Yeah.
In a way, like you see a puppet and for some reason your brain doesn't tune out.
Yeah, it's like it takes up physical space.
It's a character. Yeah.
Like Evil Dead 3.
If you see something computerized, you're like, I
literally
trying to
switch
trick
off.
me.
Not switch off. That's not quite the right way to say it.
No, but it sucks you out.
Yeah, it's just different. Like it's a completely different experience. Whereas, and people will say, Fury Road had tons of CGI too. I know that, but it didn't have it in the same way. Like they still literally filmed, like it had the CGI, the backgrounds, and put mountains in the backgrounds and stuff like that. But the fucking cars are smashing into each other and blowing up. Like that's real. Yeah. They filmed it. You can tell it looks
and they
real.
They filmed some of it. I remember reading on Canon 5Ds. To use as one-offs because they would say, we're strapping into the front of the car for a great shot of this car crashing in and then go in and dig the memory stick out of the wreckage.
The
camera's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can tell. It just looks so good. And then this, like I said, it's a shame because, like I said, I know that they did do that stuff again, but I feel like the fiddling takes away from it.
Yeah. Yep.
And I just wonder, what would it be like if they just hadn't done that? Oh, and there's one really obvious shot that's so odd. It's so odd. They had, surely you had the money to not. There's a bit where it's Chris Hemsworth's character, and he's ramming a gate in his car, and he's not in the car.
Right.
Oh,
but it literally just looks like someone's shoved a TV in the front window with Chris Hemsworth in it on the TV.
Yeah.
Like it looks
like a flat comp.
Yeah, I was like, how'd that make it in? Like, it just, it looks bad.
Oh. But still a good movie apart from that.
Yeah, I'm nitpicking. It's fucking great.
Oh, speaking of movies, it's not in the spreadsheet because actually I popped it in last week and we didn't get to talk about it. But one of the younger actors in the Top Gun sequel, nobody that I knew who they were, but just, it's about the younger generation coming up. So one of those guys was saying that before he start in the film, Tom Cruise made him go to a certain cinema on a certain day and watch this specific how to make a movie that Tom Cruise had made and paid for and stars in. Where
for this
he's
guy.
like, "Hi, I'm Tom Cruise." No, but apparently he shows it to everyone who's going to be in a movie with him. You have to watch this. He's like, "I'm Tom Cruise, and here's how to be in a movie." And then just teaches you stuff, and here's how to fly a plane, and here's just a camera. And the guy apparently goes for 4 hours, and the guy was the only one in this theater. He's just like, I'm here to watch Tom Cruise's movie. They're like, "Yep, okay, go in."
Yeah, another one of those, eh?
Yeah.
That's all right. I would like to see that.
I would like to see it, but I don't know. He's good but bad at the same time. I can't put my finger on Tom Cruise.
I saw photos of him for the new Mission Impossible. He looks pretty jacked at the moment, actually.
Oh yeah,
Tom. He's looking like he's been hitting in the weights.
Because his face is finally starting to show his age, because he must be in his 60s, right?
In Dead Reckoning, you look. I go, okay.
So I think he's been like, I'm Tom Cruise. Like, fuck it. If my face is going, I'm gonna get my body jacked.
He's 61.
Yeah, because that's never been his thing. He's never been like big muscle guy or anything like that. It's
In fact, he's rarely even a take your shirt off in a movie actor.
No. He's fit and he does physical stunts and stuff like that. But he's not like a Arnie kind of ripping his shirt off.
He's not a bodybuilder.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sure he does the same techniques to stay in shape, but he just doesn't need to go to that level.
It's not about that.
He's going to turn 62 on the 3rd of July.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go.
One other thing I want to say about Furiosa was that another CGI thing that I thought I didn't notice, right, and worked really well, which is, again, this is a good use of it. There's obviously a younger actress who plays Furiosa as a kid, and then Anya Taylor-Joy plays her kind of older.
Yep.
And as the movie was going on, I was like, when the fuck is Anya Taylor-Joy in this? And then suddenly I just realized, oh, that is her. And then I was like, what? Why didn't I notice that? It sounds like I'm being silly.
Like you didn't even notice the transition.
I genuinely didn't notice the transition. And then this article talks about that too. What they did was they slowly, the younger actress and Anya Taylor-Joy, I guess, as it got in the middle, they both did the scenes, and then they just kind of like comped them together over time, and they made her like face look more like Anya Taylor-Joy's and that. And then it's like I said, literally at a certain point, I was like, oh, that's her.
And here's CGI that you didn't notice.
Yeah, that was good.
Incredible. Yeah,
they did that in the Elvis movie
successful.
too. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis movie. In the last scene, the movie leads up to his 77 comeback tour in Las Vegas, and he does this number on stage, and it slowly morphs from the actor to real footage of Elvis, but you never. Cool. There's no moment where you go, "Oh, okay, now we're on real Elvis," and the last shot was on the fake Elvis. It's like a very gradual thing. Probably the same thing, comping Elvis on some early shots and then transitioning in. I do want to see this.
Yeah, good stuff.
Looks good. Does it look like same kind of look as Fury Road with that kind of really blue and yellow kind of?
Yeah,
stylized palette and everything.
And also, one thing I noticed, I went in. It was one of the biggest cinemas because I guess it's a new release just up the road at the theater here, which is we have a nice theater. It's just not like not big fancy kind of. Oops.
Not in any way.
No.
Oh, Matt's left us. You know what?
It's
Fuck,
not
I'm
good.
not even going to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just it's that bad.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Matt's phone's died. So it's just down a look now.
I don't know if I'll go see Furiosa at the movies. Though. I do want to go to the movies, but I don't. I think the next one for me is going to be Aliens. Alien Romulus. That's.
I'm going to wait too. I'm pretty keen, but I mean, I enjoyed seeing Fury Road at the cinema, but I also enjoyed watching it on my laptop. So I don't give a shit how big the screen is anymore. The only reason I go to see things now in cinemas is to see them sooner, not to see them bigger.
Yeah, there's no rules. I don't know. Is Matt back? No. So no, I think
quite honestly, he's not welcome back.
No, I think it'll be Alien, and I think Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh yeah, no, I can wait for that.
No, I think that's just going to be like a fun day out.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree. And actually, you're probably right. If you don't see that soon, I imagine there's going to be a whole bunch of in-jokes in there that'll be spoiled by the time it comes to streaming. So maybe seeing that, hey, is back.
He's back.
Oh.
But he can't hear us. No, he cannot hear us.
No? Nothing?
No, I can now. I can
now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I hope that doesn't affect my recording for the...
Well, Luke's recording, so...
No, but I'm recording... No, the recording I'm doing is the recording that this is it. The website does it.
I need my individual recording. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
Oh, I
can't be helped now. I don't know what happened there. My computer just disconnected from everything. So, what was I saying? Sorry.
Yeah.
You were talking about the cinema and how.
Oh yes, your cinema is not the best cinema.
Oh yeah,
but
it was. This was in one of the nicer ones, the big ones, and it was fucking loud. And I noticed as soon as the trailers came on, I was like, "Fuck, this is loud." And I was like, "I hope it stays this loud," because this is a movie that I want loud.
Yeah.
So that was good. Because sometimes
loud
it's just
car crashes and explosions.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like a bit too quiet. And I'm like, I wish this was louder. But no,
have you ever seen a 4D movie, Matt? Luke and I saw a 4D movie when we were in America.
Guardians.
I've seen a couple and I enjoy them.
They've got smell-o-vision, so if someone's cooking toast, you can smell it.
The chair moves.
I haven't. I'm not sure that'd be a good thing to want. You wouldn't want
It's
to
not a
smell
good
people
thing
in a Mad
for-
Max movie.
Well, maybe well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
The chair moving every time something crashed into somebody would be pretty good. It'd be like holding a dual shock controller.
Yeah.
Guardians was good. I wouldn't want to watch a drama or anything too serious.
No.
In 4D, but
I think we saw Guardians, didn't we?
we did see the second
So
Guardians.
yeah, you told
I
me
also
about that,
saw the Solo movie as well, which was nice.
Oh yeah, where you find out that Han Solo isn't his name; he just was by himself. Fucking hell!
I forgot about that. Why'd you have to remind me?
Yeah.
Speaking of the trailers,
I saw an interview with I was about to say Richard Dean Anderson. That's not who I mean. Who do I mean?
MacGyver.
Alan Dean Foster. No, Alan Dean Foster.
Oh yeah.
Talking about Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and about how like he was pretty psyched when George Lucas said to him, "I need you to write the sequel to Star Wars," because the idea was if Star Wars was a failure, didn't make any money, they'd release this book and hopefully make some money back on it. They'd release it anyway.
Right.
But if it did make money and they were going to do a sequel, that book would be the sequel. And so he was really
me,
psyched.
in this sequel, Luke and Leia are not related.
No, they are not.
That's right. And Han is not in it. He's left because they didn't think they could afford to get Harrison Ford back. But they did, and then they, from that and a number of other reasons, completely rewrote it. And apparently he was quite disappointed that they didn't use his storyline.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of trailers, and we've got some follow-on from this in a way, I saw the trailer for Beetlejuice
Oh, yeah.
in the theatre. Doesn't look very good, I'll be honest.
No.
Yeah. I must admit, I loved Beetlejuice. Like, when I was a teenager, it was my favourite movie.
Yeah, and I was excited when they said they were doing another one, but now I've seen the trailer and I'm like,
I just don't know if we need another one, especially since
I just don't trust Tim Burton anymore.
Burton's books, he's good. His best films are far behind us.
Long behind him, yeah. But I did notice one thing that was funny, right? We know Alec Baldwin's not in this, and we know Gina Davis is not in this, and we also know fucking what's his name?
That horrible
Jeffrey
person.
Jones.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Jones is not in this, and in the trailer, I guess at the start of the movie, they're at his funeral.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, he's definitely not in this. He's off molesting ghosts somewhere.
Yeah, the ghosts of kids.
Yeah.
Of kids that died.
Because I did say, because it's not Beetlejuice 2, it's Beetlejuice, which I think is sort of like,
That's
to me,
quite
that
good.
was sort of opening it up for a third as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But this article was, they've been talking to Michael Keaton about it, and he said that he found it off-putting because he did Beetlejuice, and since then there's actually, there's the cartoon, and then Beetlejuice has become like a...
I actually quite liked the cartoon.
Well, the character went on to do more stuff, I guess, and he just didn't know about any of that, or he wasn't interested in it. And now he's like, he's doing the follow-up, and he's like, so what's been going on? And he's like, I hate all this.
So were they counting all of that as canon, are they?
No, I don't know if it's that. I think it's just that he was like, I think because I saw an interview where he said how do I remember how to do this? Like, it was so long ago, and it was very, kind of early,
How are they going to explain why a ghost is 30 years older now?
Well, I think they've de-aged him, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
Not based on the trailer. He just looked like Michael Keaton.
Maybe they're just trying to. I think they're doing the makeup.
I mean, he's got makeup on.
The makeup and just because he didn't look young back then either. But I think
I know what
it's
it's about.
Just going to ignore it.
It's going to be annoying. The plot is stupid too.
Is it? Go on.
Well, because what's her name's in it? Monica Bellucci's in it as his previous wife, right? Because there's a gag at the end.
Beetlejuice's previous wife.
When he tries to marry Lydia at the end of Beetlejuice, the priest says, "Have you got the ring?" And he pulls out a finger with a ring on it, and he goes, "Don't worry, she meant nothing to me." That's who Monica Bellucci plays.
Right.
Because she's in the trailer, she's got no ring finger.
Interesting.
And in
so
this
she comes back. So anyway, so what you're saying, it's that Avenged Sevenfold song.
Yes.
But as a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. With less
is he trying to marry...
With less necrophilia that you know of.
Maybe.
Yeah, and is he trying to marry Winona Ryder still, or is he now moving on to her daughter?
There's definitely... He jokes about it in the trailer, because Jenna Ortega is in it, and like summons him back by accident in the trailer, and then he shows up and says to Winona Ryder, "I'm going to make you so happy." Like, so he's back on that.
He's like, summoning me is consent. It counts as consent.
Well, because I mean, it's less creepy now because they're both kind of old. You get lumped in, but like in the original, she's pretty young, right? And Michael Keaton was not that young. So
no, still creepy. She played the little girl,
but it was just a joke. Like in the movie, like it was never like so serious that it would be a thing.
Yeah, right? And it's kind of a playing off of that trope of like the Black Knight always wants to marry the princess. That's what he wants.
Yeah. For some reason, it doesn't come off as creepy because he's a fucking ghost. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's always sort of confused me. Like even with like vampires and they're old, hanging out with young people.
Yeah. Pretending to still be in high school. How old are you? 400.
Angel's 400 years old, trying to sleep with a 16-year-old. Like that's
yeah.
Hey mate, when I'm 400,
if I look like
your great granddaughter,
I know I look like David Boreanaz look like in Buffy. Well, even now, he's still a handsome guy.
Yeah,
very handsome.
Look out, young girls.
Got the job just because he was handsome. Did you hear that interview? No, there's an interview on one of the DVDs for Buffy. It must be the first season where they were talking about who to cast, and they'd cast Buffy and cast Giles and stuff. They were like, for Angel, we just needed someone super handsome, and no one like that had come in yet. And then one of the women was like, "There's a guy who walks his dog past my house every morning who's so fucking hot. I go out just to look at him." And they're like, "Bring him in." And it was David Boreanaz. So the next day he just walked past and she's like, "You're not an actor, are you?" I mean, this is LA. You can assume everyone's an actor.
Yeah, of course.
And he's like, "Yeah, I want to be." She's like, "Well, can you come in?"
Well, that might explain like his first season because he wasn't really in it a lot that first season. He was
no, he wasn't. I think he got
just showed up and stood in
episodes
dark doorways and
yeah.
No, he went on to do some.
He didn't
stuff.
He didn't keep up the fitness though. What am I trying to say? He got a bit fat in later.
Yeah.
Like a lot of actors
do a lot of shirt
get
off scenes
fitter as they go because they're like, I'm a movie star now. Whereas he was just like, fuck it, I got the job.
Well, look at actually funny interview with James Masters. He
is in good shape.
Yeah, because he told Joss, because they had a bit of a standoff. We've talked about this before, right? Joss was mad because Spike was supposed to die.
Yeah, but he was too popular.
But he was so popular, the studio was like, "You got to keep him."
They said you have to write him back in.
And he took him aside and he said, "You're ruining my fucking show. Stop it." And as it went on, they said, "You're going to fall in love with Buffy and you're going to have sex scenes and stuff like that." And he said, "Like, when are we shooting them?" He goes, "Don't." He said he told Joss, "Don't Mac Lucas me. You tell me when you want me to get my shirt off." Because he said because they did him fucking dirty. Like,
right.
He was
just on the day, by the way, whip your shirt off.
By the way, this is a topless scene. And he's like, "I haven't been working out." And they're like, "Well, we're filming it, so."
Yeah. If I was going to be topless, I'd need a good 6 months notice.
6 months? A good 6 years. That wasn't a dig at you, that was a dig at me.
Yeah, no, that's fair, but I don't even think about what my body's going to look like in 6 years when I'm 50.
I'll still be a baby.
I'm 49.
Yep.
Oh, and speaking of trailers, Borderlands looks awful. Did you watch this clip?
No, I haven't seen the new trailer for it. I have not been keeping up with the Borderlands.
I'm not watching the trailer,
this is
and
what
I'm not
they
watching
thought.
the movie.
This is a sequence they thought would get people excited about the movie, and it looks fucking garbage, and I just don't understand. This is certainly not going to be the game, the movie that redeems video game.
I'm just watching it, I can't hear it, but it just looks like it's having diarrhea, essentially.
It just looks like... Yeah, Claptrap's shitting out bullets.
Yeah.
But even wait till it gets into like an action bit at the end, and it's just like, what is this? It looks like some fans shot it at a convention.
Yeah, Borderlands, looking at it, it's like they look like they're inside in a very dark place. Borderlands is out there in the open and bright. It's
just such an odd choice to say, we'll use this to promote it.
Get excited for this.
Shitty. And you scroll down and read the comments on YouTube. Everyone's like, the fuck is this?
Seeing Kevin Hart as Roland, just not right. This looks like random people cosplaying as Borderlands characters. Really wanted Borderlands 4 announced instead of this. Yeah, people are not looking forward to this. I'm not going to the movies for this.
No.
Now
but speaking of Eli
that's
Roth,
a real threat from Luke.
You can also go see it in IMAX.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah. You'd be disappointed on the big screen.
I know. I don't think there's ever a way to make a Borderlands movie good. It's just
it doesn't lend itself to that.
It's a silly game. It's over the top, and
it's too weird and nonsensical. Like you can't constrain it to like the movie format almost. If that makes sense. I feel like it doesn't.
And especially from
that.
one game to the other, like the shifts that are taking place. I mean, I assume this. It's just based on the first game, although it can't be because it's got characters in it that aren't in the first game.
I think it's a combination of all of them.
Yeah.
Because it's got Tiny Tina in there.
She's not in the first game.
No. She came in too. And all the characters are from the first game. Because the other characters are in the sequels, but they're sort of just making an appearance. Except for Tiny Tina, she's only in the second one onwards. So the only constant character is really Claptrap. All the others are sort of just there.
Changeable.
I'll see it, but I'm not paying money at the movies to see it.
But on Eli Roth news, because he directed Borderlands, I thought this was interesting. There's going to be a hostile
for him too, and an odd choice of directors for Borderlands. I don't know why he wanted to do it, and I don't know why they wanted him to do it.
I mean, he showed up at PAX, and they were like, Eli Roth. And I was like, Eli Roth? All right. He was on stage. It's like, why? Yeah. They're doing a Hostel TV series starring Paul Giamatti.
That's an odd choice.
All right.
I mean,
hey?
Yeah, just Paul Giamatti.
I guess he doesn't star as one of the sexy chicks that just goes to Romania on holidays and then ends up getting kidnapped and tortured.
I mean, he's great. I like him in stuff. Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch that awful Holdovers movie, but...
I tried twice to watch that.
Yeah,
it's so bad. I gave up twice on it.
But it's just, who talked him into doing fucking Hostel?
What has he been in? He's one of those character actors that he's famous enough that I know his name. But I can't name too many roles.
Maybe I'm giving him too much credit as like a highbrow kind of actor.
But wouldn't there be like a lot of... I could understand, like, now it's coming out of the strike. Wouldn't there be like lots of roles that would be out there to have been a pick from? Or
do you know the movie? This is an odd thing to come to mind. Isn't Paul Giamatti in The Lady in the Water? That M. Night Shyamalan movie? I don't know why that's the one that comes to mind.
I think I put that movie mostly out of my mind, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's not the one where the wind is the baddie.
No. That's the one. It is, Paul Giamatti. And Bryce Dallas Howard. Didn't
maybe worth a second look.
Didn't remember that. Anyway.
Maybe he wants a change.
Maybe.
Maybe he hated that boring school teacher movie as much as we did. I must say, I like Hostel. I liked it a lot. And actually, I quite like the sequels as well. I actually they didn't promise to do anything they didn't deliver on. You know what I mean? They said, did you like Hostel? Yeah. Would you like to see it again with slightly different characters? Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Well, here's more. It didn't try to do what Saw did with its 10 sequels of like trying to get this deep
elaborate
mythology
story
going.
Yeah.
Because I'm lost now, and I think there's a new Saw coming out too, but I'm a few behind at this point.
Isn't the new Maxine coming out soon?
Yes. Yeah. There's a new trailer for that too. That looks good.
Yeah, that I'm looking forward to.
I rewatched X recently.
Oh, yeah?
It's a good movie.
Very good movie.
And I loved it.
It's very derivative of a lot of movies that I really love, so that's fine. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's
like
like
okay, you stole that from
Nightmare,
a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and bit of Spit on Your Grave, like just all those old grindhousey movies.
I also just love it. Like the one that would normally be the survivor is not in this one. Like does change that a bit.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you're thinking from the start, it's going to be Jenna Ortega. She's the nice, sort of reserved. Nah.
Yep.
No, she gets it.
It's the porn star.
Yeah, she's top. She's good.
Speaking of
good
It's
too.
Mia, and speaking of Mario, not of Mia Goth. Matt, have you watched the Super Mario Brothers movie yet?
No, I should watch that.
Okay, it's very good. I watched it a second time a couple of weeks ago with Harper because she quite likes it now.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
And she loves.
Like it.
Yeah. It just. You know how we were like, how do you make
That's a dinosaur? She likes dinosaurs?
It's not. But. I think she'll like it, but there's the problem is the Bowser sequences can be quite scary because Harper's now at an age. Okay. She never used to be scared of stuff, but now she's aware that things can be scary. So, like she loves The Little Mermaid, but I have to fast forward anything with that fucking swampy witch with the tentacles. Like she's like, that bitch is scary. Fast forward this shit.
Get me back to Ariel.
It's the same with Mario too. Anytime they go into like Bowser's world. I've got to skip.
Not into
you just want to see Mario and Princess jumping around.
But we haven't talked about, before the movie came out, we talked about, does he do the voice or not? Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think they tackled it in the best possible way. So it starts off a commercial for their plumbing business, right? And they introduce, hey, it's me, Mario. And they talk like this. Then it cuts back to the real world and they're watching it on the TV. And in their normal voices, they go, should we have done the accent? It's like, yeah, I think it works. I think it works for the ad.
And then that's it.
And they didn't never do it again, yeah.
Okay. Because I remember they made a big deal about, he's done something really special.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why they said that. Yeah,
it's cute. But you know what they've done? And I can see why they did it, but it kind of... I don't think it was necessary. Princess Peach is quite a big character. She's not just some damsel you rescue at the end, right? She's a proper character all the way through. But she's voiced by Anna Taylor-Joy, right?
Okay.
But they've made her look like... Everyone looks like exactly like they do in the games, except for Peach, who looks very much like she does, except with her eyes slightly too far apart.
Is that true? That's funny.
They've just made her look a little bit like Anya Taylor-Joy. But I was like, okay, that's odd. It'd be like if I voiced her and she suddenly had a big nose. And I'd be like, was that necessary?
Yeah. If I didn't, she had a big dick.
Yeah. Massive dick, but completely impotent. That's the irony. Can't use it. Speaking of big noses, we talked a little while about that Bradley Cooper was in trouble for doing Jew face in that Maestro movie that he was in. Yeah, so I watched that movie. Fine, not like you could just see him begging for that Oscar, but not my kind of movie necessarily. But people have done. I saw a comparison of his face and Leonard Bernstein's face, and they have proven that his nose in the film is bigger than Leonard Bernstein's nose in real life was.
Oh, that's a bit... That's a bit on the nose.
Because remember, even his family came out and went, "No, we're not
episode.
offended by him doing a big nose." Because write it down. What did we say?
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
On the nose. It's down the bottom.
And yeah. But and his family said, "No, we're not offended. He had a big nose. It's fine."
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's the biggest nose.
Not that big,
seen.
he didn't. Not that big.
Yeah, it's also a movie I'm never going to see, so it doesn't really affect me at all.
I wouldn't bother.
Any Oscar movie is not for me.
Did somebody watch Alex Garland's new movie, or is there some other news about it? Okay.
No, I watched it. And I've got a few things to say about it. Number one, Matt, you can watch this without getting angry. It is completely apolitical.
Interesting.
It's got nothing to do with Trump in any way. And I knew they weren't going to mention Trump by name, but it's not even like, America was divided along these lines. No. Parallel universe, they're fighting.
Interesting.
It's almost
I thought it was about the political split in the world today. Yeah. It's not?
So I think it's a metaphor for that. But in order for no one to be offended and from everyone in America to want to go and see it, there's no goodies and no baddies. It makes it interesting in that the conflict itself is very ambiguous, which you're like, there's no good guys or bad guys. I'm not rooting for one side or the other. The main characters are bipartisan. They're journalists. So you follow around a group of journalists. And it's basically the entire cast of devs, but as a group of journalists. And they don't take sides. So you don't feel an affinity with one side or the other. And in fact, there's some great scenes in it where they meet up with soldiers and the soldiers are like, "What side are you on?" And they're like, "I'm not on any side." But you don't know what side the soldiers are on. So they don't even know what to pretend. So it's interesting, and I liked it, and there's some great action pieces and stuff like that too. Ultimately, though, I think it was a bit of a cop-out to do it and not make any political statements. So it kind of, in the end, leaves you just a little bit unsatisfied.
Right. It's not really saying anything.
Yeah, and that's fine. Not movies don't have to say anything, but this acts like it has something to say, but then doesn't say anything.
It certainly seems like from the trailers that does.
Yeah. I still think Alex Garland is one of the greatest science fiction writers writing for television and movies right now, and he should stick to that genre because Deus Machina and Devs are astounding accomplishments.
He's done with directing, isn't he? Didn't he announce he doesn't want to direct stuff anymore?
That's fine, because the stuff he writes is better than the stuff he directs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fair enough.
But write some more sci-fi. That's where he lives.
Look, Alex, you write it, I'll direct it for you.
Watch that. Yeah, watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Problem sorted.
Look, we're getting towards the end of the show, but there is some Star Wars news, and I like to put Star Wars news in the main show. I don't like to put Star Wars behind a paywall, you know what I mean? Yeah. Mostly because our patrons have said, please don't talk about Star Wars.
Good point. We're not going to pay for this shit.
What's happening with Star Wars? I know the new Acolyte show's out. I haven't seen it yet.
I was going to ask if you'd watched any of it.
Yeah, same. Because, Luke, can't you watch it? Because I'm not going to watch it, and I need you to tell me
I'll watch it, and I'll give you a review of it next week.
I'm almost at the point where I'm, on principle, not going to watch any more of this shit anymore because I feel like, and again, this is just how I feel about it right now, but this whole, because there's more of it now, right? With this whole stuff about people saying, apparently Acolyte has a lot of overtly gay themes, which I don't care about. But that's not what I want discussion around Star Wars to be about. Like, I don't care about that. And
then you're a bigot, Matt. If you don't like this, it's because you hate gays.
That's what annoys me. Me. And I saw, apparently people now are saying, if you don't like this show, it's because you're a bigot, right? And they've said the same thing about the other shows as well. And it almost feels like, I said, I haven't seen it, so maybe this is not true. It's just stupid shit I'm seeing online. And either way, all of this conversation just pisses me off and I don't want anything to do with it. But
the whole thing is
they're just doing it on purpose now. They're intentionally putting these themes in
and
to
that's
annoy
the
people.
Problem. And this
because
is where
now they can say, even if the show's bad, it's like free marketing because they can just say, well, people who don't like the show.
I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be over the top things, but it's going to be people are vocal about that, and then that just leads to.
Have you seen Black Swan? It's that level gay.
I'm pretty sure they don't have a black song
people
scene in The Acolyte.
I saw someone online say
So I'll be watching
that now Star Wars fans understand what Star Trek fans had to go through when Discovery had a black female lead, and I was like, sorry, no. Discovery was shit. That's what happened.
No, Matt.
Nobody cared.
Hate people of color. And
I shouldn't
women.
say that no one cared, right? Maybe there were some racist idiots, but that's not why I didn't like Discovery, and I know that's not why a lot of other people, like Luke. It's
not why I didn't like
Discovery was a bit shit, wasn't it?
Discovery season 1 was a bit shit, and it was a completely different tone to what I was expecting from Star Trek.
What was good about Discovery was when they brought in the Enterprise, and then that got its own spin-off show, Strange New World, which is amazing.
But it wasn't about
was it
Michael or whatever. What was the character's name? Michael something. The main character from Discovery. It wasn't her.
No,
it was the show.
No. She was perfectly fine. All the cast were actually perfectly fine.
That's what I mean.
The problem is people
Don't spin
are
it
out
like
there.
that. It fucking annoys me.
Yeah, people are out there, and then people go, "Oh, you don't look." But no, there's other reasons, but outside of those two extremes.
Here's the
It just
thing,
feels
though.
like Disney's
has to be
leaning into
extreme.
it, and now they're like encouraging, going, "Oh yeah, it is only racist bigots that don't like the things we make." And it's like, no, fuck off. Like,
But it's a secular
gross
It's a
marketing.
circular logic, right? Because if you start making a show not because you've got a story to tell, but because you've got a point to prove, you're already on the back foot. That's probably not going to be a good show. So if then what you're doing is bending over backwards to make it outwardly diverse, and that's all you care about, then it's going to be shit, and people are going to call you out on it. But then you're going to think it's shit because you
But
made
I
it
think they're
next week.
incentivized. This is the
watch
thing
it.
that's bothering me about it is I think they're incentivized to do that now, right? They're to lean into these controversial things so that they don't have to worry about, is the show good or is it bad? It doesn't matter. If it's bad, we can say it's because they're racist or sexist or homophobic or whatever. Because that's, and I just don't like that.
Look, I'm pretty sure that's not their thought going in.
Well, then people online need to just shut up because they're ruining Star Wars for me.
No, never. Online is just a terrible cesspool. Look at any post on Mark Hamill's page on Instagram and read the comments and be depressed.
Yeah.
Just him posting anything. So
Because I saw someone say as well, and like this annoyed me too, because I'm like, are we reframing this now? They said that look at what Ahmed Best went through being a black actor in Star Wars. And I was like, it wasn't because he was black.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
it's because
Mate,
George Lucas
they could have
screwed
had
him over.
an albino
It was
Norwegian
in some
play that,
senses, it was
and
the
it would have still
opposite.
sucked.
Because it was criticized for being a racist stereotype.
Yes,
it was
but
the
also-
opposite of that.
Like, we loved Meg Best. We hated Jar Jar Binks. Like,
Yes.
from day one, we were like, this poor guy.
But people were horrible to him.
Yes.
But not because he was black. Because the character was garbage. Like,
But here's the whole problem that this I said last week. There are people who are horrible to him because he is black as well. And that
Yes.
gets lumped in and done together.
but now,
which is the
but
bad
like I said,
part.
there's this reframing that's what it was about. And it's like, no, don't fucking do that. And then,
No,
so now
but
I'm
here's
just
the
like, no,
thing.
you know what? I'm out. Fuck yes.
The Obi-Wan
It's ridiculous.
show was also fucking garbage.
Yeah,
It just had
agreed.
white people in it. So
Agreed. Didn't like that. Yep.
Did you hear George? Did we talk about this already? People called him out and like, oh, your movies just contain a bunch of white people. He's like, they're actually aliens. They're not people at all.
I mean, that's a pretty, like, yeah.
He doesn't give a
I
shit
guess.
what you think.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know,
But
it's just the
before
whole-
we move off
all-
Star Wars,
Star
I
Wars
agree with
fans
you.
have ruined Star Wars for me, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel
They
look,
were
I've
always
seen-
gonna.
And when I see whether they're misquoting or whatever, I see Kathleen Kennedy leaning into that interview saying, "Oh yeah, we've had issues with a lot of racists and sex." And it's like, no, fuck off. No,
Did you guys watch that South Park movie where Cartman gets sucked into the Kathleen Kennedy-averse and everybody in the world is a diverse woman of color?
I sort
heard about
of
it.
still didn't get that.
I know.
It missed the
I know,
mark
it's-
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
it
whole
wasn't
thing
as
is
funny. The premise itself was funnier than the actual episode was.
Yeah.
But I think Kathleen Kennedy is buying into her own hype at the moment because she did get criticized for trying to make things too woke. right? That was what everyone said about her. When I don't think that's what her intention was. But I think now she's taken up arms against all the cunts who are saying that.
But what I think, maybe this is just my perception of it, is that everyone's talking about this and it's become a thing, and it just seems to me like this is not real. But everyone's getting all whipped up about it. And when you look at something like Andor, right, which I do think is probably the best Star Wars we've gotten in a very, very long time, right?
Possibly ever.
How many people were talking about that? The ratings were a bit shit, highly critically rated, not the most talked about. Then something like this comes out, or fucking whatever, where you get people going, people hate the female lead and they hate the gays and they hate this and that and the other. And then it's like now everybody's watching this thing to see what all the fuss is about. Like, it's like encouraging them to do stuff like this. Like,
so I haven't heard anything about it.
We're talking about
really?
No.
Oh no, I see it everywhere.
That's just, but nothing good. Just people complaining about other people. Like,
there's a big complaint that people are making this week, but it's not because he's black. It's because they don't think he's a big enough of Star Wars fan. So apparently, not only do you have to be white and male to be in a Star Wars, but you also have to be a Star Wars nerd, because a guy called Charlie Barnett, who plays someone in Acolyte, was doing an interview and was saying that his favorite part of the old Star Wars was when Anakin blew up the Death Star, and the whole internet, I've gone like, and now the internet's like, he can't be in a Star Wars.
Did he maybe get confused when Anakin blew up the big starship in the Phantom Menace? Maybe
who knew what he was confused about? He's probably a 22-year-old actor who wasn't born when any of these movies were made, and is just lucky that he's in a show that pays him to be.
We weren't born when half these movies were made.
Doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. Harrison Ford.
Yes, that's right.
He also loves it when Anakin blows up the Death Star.
Look, I will watch The Acolyte next week, and I will give you a review.
Great.
Because part of me was like, I want to watch this just to see if there's actually, is this just a bad show that they're trying to whip up some controversy about to get people to watch it. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to watch it then. Like, I'm just basically, I just want to remove myself from this situation now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It just seems gross. Everybody I see talking about it online, I think you guys suck.
Yeah.
Like, all of
if
you.
I was in a crowd of people and
suck.
somebody said, do you like Star Wars? I'd be like, no. Just
I don't
because I don't want to
talk
talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be you wouldn't get me to shut up about Star Wars, and now it's like, not interested.
Yeah.
Too political.
Yeah. You know where it never gets political? That's the after party.
No. I'm going to talk to you guys about Kevin Spacey in the after party. Listeners.
Whether you like it or not.
MultipleNerdgasm.com. Click on the link that says Patreon, or go to patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm to get the after party. For as little as $1 a month, you can join the Patreon, you get the show early, you get extra stuff. For $5 a month, you get the after party, where we're going to talk about Kevin Spacey a bit. We're going to talk about, we got some Geeks of the Week candidates for Luke to decide. Yeah. That's when Luke decides who's died wins. That's what it's become.
That's what we should have called it. Who dies wins.
Who dies wins. And we've got some other news coming up in the after party too. I don't want to say too much because I don't know what we'll get to. But
while you're subscribing on Patreon, pop over to Instagram as well, mnerdgasm over there, and just follow us there too, because we've started posting some stuff. That's right. And the more people that follow us, the more active we'll be enticed to be. So
yes, that's true.
Get over there.
That's very true. Yeah, traditionally we are very bad at social media. Trying to get better.
Because we're old men. It's not really our forte.
And if you guys head over there and interact with us, that'll be helpful because it'll encourage us to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.